Welcome, everyone, to the 250th weekly MLP Drawing School. It's like December 15th, and we totally aren't doing this for a second time after wasting 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't wasted. We're talking about the MLPDS history.
Yeah. So
I was thinking about
full recording.
jellyfishes.
It's okay. I was just staring at that art for the last half hour.
All right. In true MLPDS fashion, I need everyone to say hello at the same time. So 3, 2, 1.
Hello!
There we go. That's everyone joining us today.
Wait, I
for
broke the rules. I said hi, not hello.
We need
Denied.
to start over.
Banning.
Start the stream again.
I like that the audio cracked for some weird reason. Like it just stopped streaming it. Alright, so as always, please fire us pictures towards our face if you have any questions. We want them gift wrapped, and we need them mailed to Alley Claw? Yeah, I think Alley Claus is going to be the address today.
Sure, I'll put them under my tree and unwrap them on Christmas Day.
Yay, critique!
Work. Just what I wanted.
You could send them to me, but they have to be small because my Christmas tree is very tiny.
Do you have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree?
I have a Christmas tree that fits on my desk. It's
That's
very
adorable.
tiny and very cute.
Do you have a little present that goes under there?
No, the budget was spent. It was a Christmas tree, some stickers for the windows, and some string lights for my ceiling, because that's where string lights go. And they are wonderful, and I'm going to turn them on now. I'll be right back.
Okay.
We've distracted CPC. Quick,
Yep.
let's go.
So our first picture is posted by Emotress. What a fun name. And it's Rate My Pony Drawing, Eyeball. So
Eyeball.
Eyes emoji.
I think this one does want critique. I'm just going out on a limb here. Because I've submitted
I'm back
two.
now, and my lights are on. My string lights. And I'm ready for critique. I need colorful lighting for colorful horses.
This is true. So we're going to do the black and white horse first.
I see.
It's
okay. It doesn't look black and white to me because I have colorful lights.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I like this horse. I like this horse.
Very
I think
good
there's a lot of really good shapes and stuff here, like this.
Yeah,
muzzle.
lots of lovely little bits of
That
anatomy.
muzzle. I love that muzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like the legs. The back legs are really nice.
And I do
the
really
muzzle's super
wonder,
good.
without having it in front of me, is that actually supposed to be the nostril flared on the other side? Because if it is, bonus points. You get brownie points.
Get bonus brownie points.
Maze does raise a good question. The little dot on the cutie mark. I don't recall that.
Interesting. Maybe this was like their interpretation of her in the future. Her cutie mark changes. I don't know. Maybe it's just a creative choice.
That's the spark of all of Equestria.
It's now all of Equestria is her friend.
Whenever I draw the cutie marks, I just
more friends than Pinkie Pie.
Boom.
And now, if you don't become her friend, she's the princess, so you get banned.
Oh no! You get sent to you get like sent into a prison at the place she banishes you to because you aren't her friend.
Man, their ears are like little croissants, or not croissants. They're like danishes. Just want to like.
I don't know what the Danish is, but now I want a croissant.
You take a flat pastry, like a flaky pastry, and you roll it over onto jam, and then you bake it like that.
I want it. I'm distracted now. Now I want pastries.
I always think with the way that I draw ears, they look like things that I want to nibble for some reason. Pony ears can definitely have that effect if drawn the right way.
Like, there's a lot of good elements going on with this picture. Love the tail that hangs behind it. Love the shape of the body. It all seems to work well together. And the fact you have 2 wings and 2 ears, wonderful. I do have a question about how your eyes are placed on your head. So your nostril, if I'm seeing, or your nose, which is going to help us orient the rest of the head, unless of like broken face. Your nose is angled towards the crowd like this, which means the rest of the head would be on this sort of angle going on like this, I would think that we would start seeing the other eye. But this is really based on how you interpret the head curve. So MLP generally has the eyes very forward. They don't really move back much, but some artists like Illumix and some others ones like that have pulled the eyes further backwards. It'd be interesting to get some feedback on you on what you're going for. If it's supposed to be an eye forward sort of character, I would definitely think we should start seeing just the tip of that eye. So we'd see a bit of the eye and a bit of the bulge of it around the other side, like the roundness of it. But it's really that kind of thing is more up to how you interpret your head shape, especially with the amount of stylizing going on in this course. For future posts, can we get some questions from you in particular? Because your art is very good, and it's hard to gauge what is style and what is accidental, because it's just generally good.
It doesn't even need to be like big proper. Okay. It doesn't even need to be like big proper questions. Just like, hey, looking for some feedback on how the wings are positioned or how the ears are tilted or whatever. I think for me, I think the eyes work sort of as is, because I think it's a very sort of like focused head shape, kind of. It's like really a bit of a distinctive sort of plane compared to sort of the front-facing one. For me, I think. But yeah, no, I don't know if there is too much to say. I think that with the body shape, I think this section in particular looks a little bit interesting, and it could probably like benefit from like just a little bit more movement upwards around here, or even just like once it gets to the end there, just a little bit of like upwards movement, something like that, or something along those lines. And with the leading edge of the wing here, this specific sort of connection point, I'd probably lower that down a bit. Whenever I connect my wings to the horse, I tend to have this sort of they connect in primarily like through something like this, and so I like this being a little bit further down the horse than this, and this back one being up a little bit higher, just so it feels like there's like a bit of a flow into the body from the wing and stuff. But like in general, it's a really well designed horse. You could have a bit of a space up in the neck here just to help the head get connected to the neck a little bit more. But this line here, that line specifically, I love it. Good line. Yeah, good horse. Well drawn. Anyone else have feedback on the horse?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like LD said, it's very stylistic. Like you got some clear choices going on in terms of like the proportions and everything. But I definitely feel like it's very recognizable and works really well. It's just hard to do anything that's other than nitpicky. The only thing I did was the horn was like coming out of the upper eye socket and going straight upwards at the side of the head rather than going out at a diagonal from the middle of the head. So I just corrected that a little bit. That's the only thing. It's very cute. Your style is very nice.
All right, shall we go on to the next one?
Let's do it.
I hope CPC stops becoming
Leading.
anime.
Yeah, CPC just got a bit too anime today. That's what happened. She saw a bishy.
Yep.
And shot across the room with a nosebleed.
Hi, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I think
Did
it's
you
stopped now.
how many yards did you fly when your nose bled?
I flew all the way to the bathroom real fast so it doesn't bleed all over my expensive tablet and all
And
my
how
sketchbooks and all my art supplies.
and how jelly were the boobs that made this happen?
Oh,
I
Fluffy.
did. The funny thing is that it decided to start as I was scrolling over to see the rest of the art, and I saw the rarity that Artemis was talking about. So I'm
that's
blaming that.
So Stamus.
which art is he doing?
This picture is by Stamus. It's the rarity.
So now we're all gonna become anime.
Yeah. Why is there such a huge difference between these two pictures? The first is much better than the other. The first one, second one. Click left.
Basically, if I remember correctly, it's a matter of they were like, "Why does my sketch look better than the line art?"
I've had that before.
TLDR.
It's
Yeah.
totally a natural thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like that happens. It's just sketches are messy and loose. Even if you're
Yeah,
sketching
basically your
rather
brain
neat.
will pick the line that it likes the most because
Yeah,
it's all very
sketches are sort of mentally interpreted. That's very correct. Like a lot of the time, it just feels more like not even just like the. You are right. Like yes, the brain will interpret the lines that look the nicest and sort of draw between them. But not even just that, but just a
yeah.
sketch is an
Sometimes
incomplete
sketches
thing,
are
and it just makes you looking at it. You're just imagining what it would look like. Whereas a line art is like a completed thing and it's one concrete thing, and sometimes that it's a concrete and static thing, and your brain is having to adjust to seeing that one static thing as opposed to a sketch which is full of possibilities. But I think you have very nice line art. You've got some very interesting things going on. I love the sort of use of like thicker lines or like shaded, like filled in parts for sort of like the black, so to speak. So I think that's very nice. You've got some lovely techniques going on.
Something like as people said, it's basically like imagine this is your sketchy stuff, and line art is like this. When you look at like sketchy stuff, your brain will automatically just go, okay, the line looks something like that, or like that, or like that. It'll like automatically just decide what it
possibility,
looks like.
yeah.
It'll automatically decide what the main line of it is, just based on what it thinks is best. Whereas when you actually like need to do line art, you actually need to like specifically say, okay, this is the line that goes through it. And if that line is wrong, then it is gonna look bad, and it's gonna look wrong, and it's gonna look weird. Something that I've like seen some people do, rather than having like a separate layer on top of your sketch and then doing a line art pass on it or something like that, they'll do something called line sculpting, which is where they basically what they do is they get an eraser and they work a little bit zoomed out, and they just slowly erase stuff from it until it gets a little bit more defined. Then they'll add a bit to it, and then they'll erase a bit to it, and they'll just keep doing that and working. Basically, like start with a sketch and then work it until it's at the sort of shape that you want. And sometimes that can be a little bit more effective than actually drawing line art. I know that doing this for me is like super good because I'm awful at line art. But if you look at an artist called KNKL and line sculpting, he has some pretty good videos on this sort of technique that might be useful for you.
to me, what helped me
Mhm.
because I've also
Another
looked
thing I
into
might
line
suggest
sculpting
is
and can go, Ollie.
yeah, okay. Another thing I might also suggest is sometimes with line art, the sketch isn't refined enough for us to determine what lines to put down. Like what was said before, our brain can pick out and just make it work. But that doesn't necessarily mean the brain knows what choice to make when choosing which line in front of you, because the brain's like a foggy thing. And line sculpting can help as well, but sometimes it's a matter of maybe going one or two more passes over the sketch to fix the wonky parts or the parts that are feeling off, especially if you do a piece of line art and you can identify, well, this specific portion of lines, like Let me just. I gotta zoom out. Thank you. Like if you're looking at any of this, like, oh, the flow of the skirt seems off, or there was this nice like curve to the back that's missing now. So like if you can take the time to pinpoint why the line art feels wonky, if you can pick out sections to work on, or just like figure out could use like a more fleshed out sketch to really figure that out, to find that curve and line, um, which can also be done with sculpting as well. But yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say what Ali said. So I'm glad I let Ali go first.
When you do like another pass on top of your art, you also don't need to like do absolutely everything. Like when I do another layer, sometimes I'll just be like, okay, I'll just like do a few lines on top of the hair or something like that, and then that'll be all that I do. You don't need to like redraw absolutely everything every time that you do a draft layer.
It's like giving yourself a red line. I do that all the time with my sketches. I'll just lower the opacity on my sketch, find the problem area, put on red ink, boom, I give myself a red line. That's self-critique for you.
Yeah.
Everyone can do it.
You know what's also just like I gone onto the Reddit and I'm looking at posts between the sketch and the lineup. Like it's also a case that the sketch underneath sort of like at a glance adds like a nice texture and like detail level and like varied tones and everything. So it just like looks nicer to look at. You sort of see it, it's like, oh, I can see like the creative sketch process and it's design, it's illustration, and just at a glance it adds some sort of weight and texture to everything. But the line art is just flat line art. So if maybe once you've got colors and everything in and shading and whatever you want to do with it, maybe it'll look nicer then. Or maybe it's just a case of like doing things to make the line art feel more busy and nice. Depends on what you want to do.
All right, shall we move on to our next picture?
Let's do it.
Sure. Sorry for doodling over the suckle cookie in the corner.
We got a picture submitted by ML Gamer Dudes. Asher being carried away by Cheerly. Art for a fanfic.
Woo, fanfic art. Woo.
Are you writing the fanfic?
It's always good to do art based on something because
Yeah.
it gives you lots of ideas.
Your coloring's getting a lot better, buddy.
Mhm.
You've seen a fair bit of it, and you're definitely getting a lot more consistent on your strokes, a lot more solid overall. It's good. It's getting a lot better. Your lines are looking good. I do notice, what is it? Asher, the gray pony, appears to be held to the side of Cheerly. Well, she's walking, I guess, forward. I think it would make a bit more sense if she was being carried like on an angle. So, like your horse walked forward, so Cheerly would be walking forward, right? And then you would have Asher turned basically 90 degrees here, so her head would be facing like this way, would it? And then the body would be back behind there. And the only reason I say that is because you still get the face of her on this picture, but also it means that Cheerily's not just holding the horse off to the side of her, which is a lot easier to walk with. I know it's a weird critique, but balance seems odd, and I feel sorry for her neck.
Yeah, posing is always difficult for a shot like this.
I will say you have a nice pose for the hanging, the little guy. You feel the weight, like you feel the the way they droop is a nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just doing some corrections to the legs and walking like stage. not perfect, but walk cycles are hard. References help. Yeah.
Yeah, your updates definitely add more to the walk cycle to get it more lively, more fluid, less stiff. There you go. Because ponies are rubber, especially Pinkie Pie.
Also try lifting the surf up a bit. Just keep it fluid. Oh, no, that's too short. Now I've got too much sketch lines going on.
Yeah, these two front hooves that I did some stuff on, I basically just changed them up so that there was a little bit more of a difference between the poses of them. You know, one is a little bit more raised up in this kind of like a boom there kind of thing, and the back one is a little bit more like just dangling down as it is in your picture. But in general, this is good. Good ears. Both of the back ears look awesome. The front ear looks pretty good as well. Definitely better than my front ears were. Yeah, I think honestly, just keep practicing, keep drawing, and keep on trying out weird, expressive sorts of poses like this because it's always fun to mess around with, and you learn a lot from doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to just do lots of exploratory sketches. Thumbnailing, I think, could help a lot with this. I think trying something like this, I'm experimenting with up here. We're having Julie have her head dipped a bit more forward could sort of make it a bit more dynamic. But perhaps the back lifted a little bit more, but and sort of like this, she seems very like, it's like having this sort of like back arched, slumped pose. Sort of seems like it would fit. So it's always worth experimenting with thumbnailing like this because it helps you, even if the proportions are just probably aren't accurate. It's just a way to get like quick little ideas out.
Also, totally a thing you should not forget. Eye spots. You gotta give them that. What is it? Glaucoma? Yeah, it's glaucoma. No, but really, eye spots. It's very hard to do after the fact when you've done pencil crayons and markers and stuff because removing
Inks.
color is annoying. But that's when gel pens are your favorite.
Yeah.
Man,
Gel
I
pens
got a whole series of white gel pens of different sizes just to do eye spots.
I was in a store at CPC in London, and we went around for ages because I was trying to find a white gel pen. I picked one up, so I specifically bought a gel pen.
Right,
It's
and we
good.
do have a submission. It was fired at me via an air cannon at my window. I'm very concerned because I didn't give them my address, but it did careen through the window, and now it is cold.
I mean, I'm just impressed by that.
Yeah.
I love this drawing down the bottom. I mean, in my bedroom, there's a drawing on the floor that I dropped.
You should pick it up.
Yeah.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Yeah. Not doing
This
stuff.
M's picture we're doing.
I'm trying to get the picture, and sorry, I had to resize it.
Yeah, resizing the Aggie is tricky.
It's all good. I'm drawing a hand grenade in the meantime.
Yeah, I think earlier on, Embroidered Equations wanted a picture as well.
Oh,
in
did
the
they?
voice chat.
I forgot.
Oh,
about
yes,
that.
yes, in the voice chat.
Yeah.
So we can do that one afterwards. I don't think she's watching.
No. So this one was the first in what feels like years. Someone has submitted it to our post of our live stream.
Whoa. Yeah, it's been a
Wait,
while.
what?
Yeah. Well, it
Oh,
says
like to the
we make an
YouTube.
announcement post and
Oh, right.
yeah, that thing we've been doing for 5 years.
I didn't use the Reddit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this one is submitted by Dreaming of Pony. You might know them from such places as our live streams a while
Isn't it?
ago. It's been a while since we saw them, but I
recognized the style when we came.
Yeah, They've been posting around a bit more, and they've been critiquing, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
And like very well
Gold
built up
star.
critiques too.
Extra gold stars.
They're one of the people that's been like really doing a lot in terms of trying to learn stuff and trying to push forward with their things and all that sort of stuff. Especially with like expressions and muzzles and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Like I recognize this name from long ago too. A galaxy
Cool.
far, far away. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different horse name. Is it only 5
I don't know.
months?
I think so.
Maybe you're dreaming of a different pony.
Oh!
Oh.
Yeah. They've actually only been around for 5 months, so I wonder who I'm thinking about. I swear there's another dreaming person.
Probably.
Like I said, the
Maybe.
style definitely looks familiar, but maybe I'm
It-
imagining things. Who knows?
It's been 10 years of MLPDS, so, or more.
If we remember anyone at this point, we're crazy.
Suddenly View shows up. Whoa! Ghost Christmas pack.
Don't summon him. You know how the curse works, Ellie.
Let's be honest, if anyone knows it's going to be the curmudgeon old man, it's going to be Tosh.
You'll have to fight them for the title of curmudgeon old man because it's you now.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm just saying facts. It's,
wait, aren't you older than
This
me?
is just how it goes.
am
I think it's a compliment.
I don't think so. I think
I'm 30. What are you?
I'm the oldest.
CPC is actually a demigod from out of our plane of existence.
that makes sense. This
That's why I'm always lost. I don't belong here.
Checks out.
So Dreaming of Ponies picture. They didn't ask for any critique, but they did question if it's a bit late. No, I managed to catch it while I was clicking through the subreddit to make sure I didn't miss any post. Good job.
Woo!
Really hard finding a color that works.
I'm liking, like, when I click through some of your other pictures, because that is a great way of harvesting previous details off of you. Yeah, you're improving your shading. It's a lot more consistent, a lot smoother. The last time you actually did her on your last drawing, the muzzle was mostly a box. You're missing well, she had a wing because I guess alicorn. It's fine, but you're missing like the other wing and stuff. This seems a lot more approached. I don't know how to say this right. You have both ears. Everything seems to be in place. It's like you spent the time to make sure everything was there before building up on it, and that has shown in the how complete it is and how good it's looking. It's notable improvement. Just 13 days. I feel like I'm making an ad for weight loss. But yes, good job. We love to see improvement. For your next picture, like you do in all your big posts, feel free to ask us any questions you have that are bugging you. That helps us really drive into the point and not just meander around with our words.
Mm-hmm.
We've been known to meander.
Oh boy.
we never meander. What are yours on
Like
about?
the beginning of the stream.
Totally wasn't 14 minutes of meandering.
There's no proof.
Okay, so I've done a bunch of sketching. Oh, I love that little pixie expression off the side. Very good. So yeah, it's fun to play with expressions. Definitely like look at sort of like cartoon expressions from like animation are really really good because they like pour over like making faces into mirrors and drawing like crazy exaggerated expressions. So it's always really fun to look at for expression references. For more specific things, I felt that firstly the face you've done is very nice, but it's also very, very round. I can't turn off my thing with my tablet pen. I have to use my mouse. Oh my god! I know the show does use like round faces, but ponies have cheeks. They need cheeks. They have jaws. They need jaw lines. Like they are creatures, and you don't have to use my style exactly, but I'm just showing an example of how to really accentuate the anatomy here and make them have a squishy marshmallow face that they deserve. Because they're gonna have a head, they have a skull, they have like eye sockets, they have a mouth. That there's things that at work here, which the show style isn't always the most accurate, and like the exact circle heads I think are working against you here. So I would advise like going away from the show style in that regard, or at the very least, like the face was I think a little bit too far down, maybe, or at least it feels like everything's right on the edge of like a globe that isn't big enough to sustain all of the features. I pulled the neck in to have a bit more of a curve here, and then going back outwards again, and sort of arc the neck a little bit more on this side here. Move the ear down so it's actually in a place that makes a little bit more sense for the ear positioning. And turn the snout up a little bit because the ponies characters, their snouts don't droop too much. They have quite perky snouts, at least the mares do. So I just sort of pointed it upwards a little bit from how it looked in the original drawing, and and other than just playing with the expression and head shape, that's about it. Oh yeah, and the eyes, that's the other thing. I have a pet peeve. I don't like it when the eyes dip away from the nose like this. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I think this show style sort of does it like that, so it's fine. But the way I prefer things to look is eyes should start in the middle of like the bridge of the nose here and then arc outwards. Because this here is the nose bridge that connects between the eyes. So the when I've drawn the eyes, they're going outwards from the middle points here that I've drawn. So there's always like a little indicating like centerpiece, if that makes sense. And even if you've got an eye like this where it's like half closed, it is good to draw the entire thing first just to get an idea of how the eye is going to be if it's fully open, and then you can close it. Which includes also the other thing I changed actually was bringing up the lower eyelids a little bit, because if she's got this quizzical expression, then in fact maybe even bring the mouth up a little bit more from where I did. Yeah, it's fun to just like stretch expressions, just play with things. Like Pixies isn't super exaggerated, but it still has a very nice look and gets the point across. Like, just find the balance that works for you. But I think also, just as a learning experience, trying to draw really exaggerated expressions, even if it's not what you're going to do for your final style, really helps, because it really allows you to just like play the whole field and get an idea of how to work with the expressions. Because once you've gone too far, you know where to dial back to. So just play around, have fun.
All right. Grab my missing picture here. Right there.
I also pushed this ear down just because I think ears are like a super important thing when it comes to ponies. They're like a really interesting sort of an aspect that can like
they're a
push
big
your
part of their
expressions.
non-verbal communication, I think. Yeah,
I've
I
mentioned
agree.
it before, but like if you look at some artists like Alumix or that sort of stuff, what they'll do when they're like working out an expression is they'll draw the head or whatever, draw a really basic sort of representation of the pose, and then the next thing they'll do is they'll draw like very simple representations of the ears, and that's like, even from that you can just like tell the sorts of expression they're going for.
They're a fun animator.
Yeah. Alum, I love you. Be safe.
All right. Our next picture is submitted by Embroidered Equation. You'll recognize it from such places as our Discord channel posted about 60 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Who is
yeah.
Embroidered Equations? Jesus.
So this some crazy person. So yeah, I was a bit confused with this one at first, because I thought like the text overlay wasn't like part of the original image. I thought it was literally just an overlay, much like the the signature watermark. But no, the text is actually part of the It's actually they're projecting this magic over everything. So that you were asking about the shading earlier. I think one of the first things that comes to mind for me is I want to see like a bit of a glow. I know that they don't have a shadow, so they're probably just standing in a void, but this would help a lot to determine like how far away is this magic. Is it like literally touching them, or is it like floating a few centimeters in front, or like is it more towards the screen? Because that's important to define, I think. And from there you can start working out the shading. The other piece of advice I immediately came to mind when I was thinking about this was like you've clearly done, like you can see here, you've shaped the shading around the text, and I don't think that's actually necessary exactly, because if this is a light source as it's being treated, there's going to be a lot of ambient light, because this part here, this light blob, just as an example, isn't just coming from this letter. It's also coming from here and from here and from here and all the way from over here and everywhere, because there's light all over the place. So especially in areas like this and around here, they're going to be like flooded with light because this pink text is right in front of them. So I would almost treat it more just like these big blocks of light like this, and just ignore the fact that they're individual letters and just treat them as big blocks like this, because there's going to be enough spread that they're not going to create the specific shape of the text in the light being cast on the character, if that makes any sense. So that's it. That's the main piece of advice I had anyway. That, and maybe the lighting could be more pink color to reflect the light source.
Yeah, you could push a little more pink.
Now, BRB.
Herb.
Man, I gotta say, the lighting on your hair, it looks so good in the cell shading style you've done, where it's steps of light. I think the only thing that I really see odd about it is how come it's not tinted to the color of the magic? Like, I can see the purple fringing happening on the body because we can see like that yellow glow. I guess it's more to the white light than purple light, but that's fine. It's like hanging around there, but as it goes into the rest of the mane in particular, and the eyes actually too, we aren't getting any of that purple glow going with them. If we're going to be casting a colored light, we should paint with that colored light. It really helps draw in the idea that it's the one projecting that light. And I think that's about my only piece. Your drawing style is lovely, and holy crap, are you ever improving on your shading? It's looking so good.
It's always interesting with embroidered stuff to look at like the sorts of colors that you go for. In a lot of your work, there's been this like purple to yellow sorts of progression, and I think as Zom mentioned, when you're going for like something like this, you have like a lot of different sorts of colors, like pushing and pulling and all that sort of stuff. If you look at something like Blender, what you can pretty easily do is, make a cube of like a specific color, like whatever color this pony's coat is, and then like just add a bunch of lights of like different colors around it and see what sort of colors actually result on the boxes. Or there's some like tools that do that as well, where you can like have you can define a bunch of colors and then just like basically select a light color and then just see how the colors get affected by the light. And doing that sort of stuff might help just to when deciding what colors to use, so it looks a little bit more like it's a full integrated scene and all that sort of stuff. I don't know, I'm rambling. but it looks good. I like it. I like the difference between the hair color and the pony color. It's a good yellow to creamy purpley sort of color thing.
Anyone else got anything?
No, I think everyone covered
Gave my thoughts.
anything I would have said.
All right. If anyone else has any other art they'd like to throw at us, please do it now. Otherwise, we're going to go on to stage 2 of this. Well, I guess stage 3. The stage 1 is us rambling at the beginning.
Zom, can you with the camera on the stream, just pull it up and just take a look at the other thing?
Is it the dog? Wolf dog.
No, just up.
Oh, who the bloody did that?
Wait, what?
What are we talking about?
Upwards from embroidered. There's like a thing.
Oh, that's CPC.
Oh yeah, I drew a human.
That's you. Damn,
Wait,
that looks
you did
good.
that just out.
Oh, now embroidered is taking over.
Or did you do that?
I got
Did you do-
distracted.
Did you do that just now?
Maybe. I got distracted.
That's an awesome human, CPC.
And then I got
really
extra
cool.
distracted, being very annoyed at text on the side.
Oh,
Yeah, right there. All right. Well, if there's no other art, thank you all for joining us. We're going to go into funny shenanigans. So bear with us as we figure out how this works, but there's going to be general shenanigans. Feel free to unmute yourself if you want. Just don't blow vuvuzelas into our ear. So thanks for joining us. See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube.
Well, we'll still be
Also, Allie, is that still happening this weekend?
Who what?
What's
Oh, the
happening?
charity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. We just actually joined the charities.
Yes, there'll be a charity live stream, not at this channel, but on Q Pencil Case and Alley Claw. There's gonna be some Your Character Here's for sale. It's gonna be for a good cause. Tell your friends, come check it out. Watch our Twitters. We'll post about it in the Discord, I'm sure. All the good stuff.
There you go. There's your advertisement. Also, I don't think we're not streaming for the rest of the holidays because the holidays are pretty bleh this year
Yeah,
around.
pretty
So feel
much.
free to join in. We'll probably, just
I'm
keep
always
going
available.
and going.
I'll draw some Christmas trees somewhere.
Yeah.
Hidden in the agate, there will be a Christmas tree.
We can have one of the old school draw-alongs in the Aggie, like where we invite everybody in.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a tree in the center. Y'all can put presents under it, or put ponies under it.
I miss when
Whatever
we
you
had.
wanna put under it.
I miss
Under
when we had
it,
the
and
dual
on
power
it,
disaster
and
aggies,
around it, and over
and we
it.
used to have like backgrounds, and we would draw like little scenes happening on the draw power disaster aggies. That was so much fun. I miss those.
All right.
Christmas!
Of course.
Of course, Christmas. Even better than normal Christmas.